Hi guys, John, Common Sense Outdoors. So, I was out looking around for good natural fire tinders, and within a short distance of each other, I found a lot of tinders that would help, even if it was raining, wet, snow on the ground. So I want to pick up the camera and walk you around and show you numerous things that will work great to help you be able to make a fire, even if it was bad conditions like a foot of snow on the ground. So let me grab the camera and we'll go for a walk. I don't know if it'll show up well or not, but before we start talking about fire aspects, this ground is just covered below this big pine tree with chewed up pine cones from squirrels. So in a survival situation, that'd be a good note to make. There's obviously some squirrels. Okay, first one is pine pitch. Especially if you can find a tree that's been damaged at some point and it's dripping pitch. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this. Let's see if I can zoom you in there. Okay, that's just dripping with pitch up there. I'm not sure what happened to that tree right there. It's been damaged at some point somehow, or it has some kind of a disease right there. I'm not sure, but the pitch is just dripping out of it. The tree's trying to heal itself, and when it does that, it just oozes the pitch out. So a great thing for fire wise, this would be a great find in a survival situation, because there's so much pitch dripping out up there that it's dripping down here onto the ground. And there's just this huge pitch patty down here at the base of the tree. So, I mean, I could break that, get the dirt off the bottom of it. It's just covered in pitch. I don't even want to touch it. It'll take me a week to get that off my hands. So anyway, I mean, you're not going to get lucky and find a pile of pitch at the base of the tree all the time, but you can find where there'll be pitch dripping from the tree. Maybe not to the extreme as this tree, but enough that you'd be able to collect some of it to really aid in a good fire. Okay, so the next item is 2 trees over right here. And you know, I did a video the other day and I was talking about how thick this is in here, and it's really an unhealthy stretch. Look at how close together these 3 trees are. There's the big pine tree, madrone tree, and then the fir tree. That's really way too cluttered. But anyways, we've been talking a lot about moss. This would be a great fire aid right here, even if it was a foot of snow on the ground. This is going to be up off the ground in the trees, staying somewhat dry. And that is a Doug fir there. So if we swing around to the next tree, this little tiny oak sapling here, and we follow that up to its branches, it's got all kinds of moss in its branches up here. That would make great fire material, get a fire going. And again, even if there was a foot of snow on the ground, that's going to be up. It may be damp, but guess what? Look at this rotten log. So the last video we just talked about making charred punk wood. So if we find a good spot to tear this rotten log apart, we're gonna find punked wood. There we go. If we were to char that, if our kit has a tin we can char in, char some of this punky wood. That's a good piece right there. Char a piece of that, put it in your tin. Showed you in the last video how that moss will make fire. Another thing is, if it was really like raining hard or snow and wet snow, you know, I don't have a lot of birch trees around here. Everybody else on the YouTube is always talking about birch. I wish there was birch everywhere. But this little oak sapling has one of these puffball funguses. I'm not sure what the technical name is for them. But even if it was pouring down rain for a week out here, I could, whoops, I dropped it. I could pull that off the tree, and as long as this doesn't have a hole, it's got a little tiny hole there at the top. Hopefully that's where the branch was attached. But as long as it doesn't have a hole in it, a big hole where it's going to fill up with water, these stay dry on the inside. So you take that, let's take it over here to this log. If I was to take one of those, like I say, even if it's been raining for a week straight, I can find one of those in a tree. I don't know for sure if they grow in multiple kinds of trees, but around here they're in lots and lots of oak trees, especially the little saplings. But break that open and it's going to be dry on the inside as long as it didn't have a hole, and that's going to help you with a fire right there for sure. It would probably, if I was to break up some of the dust in here, it would probably even take a spark. I haven't tried that for sure, but it would be close. If I had a piece of my charred punk wood and I put an ember onto it, I could probably put that in here and transfer an ember into this kind of fungus. Like I say, I don't know the technical word. Maybe somebody can tell me that. I've always called them a puffball fungus, but okay. So let's see. That was pitch, moss, punkwood, puffball fungus. Last one, and I actually found this over about 50 yards away. And I believe, I've never really worked a whole lot with funguses, but I believe this is what would be a false tender fungus, or also called a horse's hoof fungus, which grows on multiple different kinds of trees. I found these on a big fir tree. And see, here's a fir tree right next to me. They would be on the tree just like that. If you can find one of these, they take an ember. If you can get them to light, they take an ember, and then they'll burn that ember for a long time. I have taken a little piece of this and lit it, and the ember burnt for over 10 minutes. I know it can go longer than that too. I have a one-hand situation here because I'm holding the camera, but let's see if I can break into that. So I believe this is supposed to be the velvety layer under the bark layer that's supposed to take a spark, but if you do get it lit though, it will burn an ember for a long time. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong about what that is. Pretty sure it's a hoof fungus or false tinder fungus. Another thing is once you get the ember to take to it, it's supposed to be kind of like an incense, and it actually has a sweet smell to it, almost like a sweet smoked, almost an apple wood type of smell with a sweeter smell. So anyway, yeah, that would be helpful in making fire situation. So we have two kinds of fungus. These, the ones in the oak shrubs, moss in two different trees, pine pitch, and punkwood. And all of these things are going to be, well, the punkwood's probably going to be the wettest if it was raining or snowing. But if you have a tin, even if it's wet, you can put that into your tin and char it. It'll draw all the moisture and the wetness out, cook all of that out before it chars. So all of these things that I just showed you would be great items to look for in the woods in the worst of conditions. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Like, comment, subscribe. More videos coming to you soon.